Hello and welcome to Unicorn and Centaur. I am Michelle and I will be your host today for another equestrian film review. This is a series where I watch non-horse movies and review them from an equestrian perspective. Today we are reviewing Disney's latest version of Mulan, the 2020 live-action remake starring Liu Yifei and directed by Niki Caro. As with all of my film reviews, a spoiler alert is in effect. I'm usually reviewing older movies, so it's no big deal, but this is like a brand new movie, even though the story is like 1500 years old. So spoilers. Also, since this is a remake, I will be comparing parts of it to the 1998 animated version, so spoilers for that one too, I guess? First of all, let me just say that the whole reason I'm reviewing this movie now is because all of my Facebook equestrian groups have been lit up with discussion of this. So can we start with the poster? Okay. Dear whomever chose the images for this poster, all of the equestrians in the world are making fun of you. I'm sorry. It's okay. You didn't know. You thought the bridle looked cool, and it does for English dressage, not for a medieval Chinese legend. For the non-equestrians watching this, this is a very specific type of bridle used in a very specific type of modern horse show. So let me assure all y'all that these are not the bridles used in the film, nor does Mulan do an advanced freestyle to the song You'll Bring Honor to Us All. So calm down if that's what you were excited for. He probably just found a nice horse pic online and used it and they're like, oh, this looks good, what could go wrong? Okay, now that that's out of the way, let's get to the good stuff. Right away, the live action version departs from the animated version. We open up on scenes of little girl Mulan practicing martial arts, including weapons and flips and parkour. This is no chicken feeding farm girl. Although the movie does pay homage to the original with an opening scene that includes a runaway chicken. This movie has taken a lot of criticism for this, but I love that it started here. Mulan is a Chinese legend. She needs to be exceptional. Not just some girl who accidentallys herself into being a soldier through one training montage. Combat skills take time to hone. Another big change from the animated movie happens at the soldier training camp. The original love interest got split into two characters for this, and people are big mad. People loved the character of Shang. And we're so disappointed that he does not factor into this story. But I love it, and here's why. Romantic relationships, when there is a power imbalance between the two participants, is almost always problematic. Especially when the higher ranking person is male. And especially if the story takes place in a patriarchal culture with specifically defined gender roles. Can we just rewrite that? Yes, we can. So what we get in this version is two separate characters. One is a commanding officer, played by the incredible and impeccable Donnie Yen, who is more of a mentor and a father figure to Mulan, including offering his daughter in marriage to Mulan at one point. And girl was like, okay, look at her go, girl. And the love interest character becomes a fellow soldier, an equal. These dynamics work much better within the parameters of the story, in my opinion. And I've got to say, I love the guy playing Hong Hui. You can see him struggle with and even accept his feelings. And his chemistry with Mulan is adorable. I feel like this movie goes there even harder than the original animated movie, and I'm happy about it. This is my happy face. Another huge change to the story is the addition of the warrior witch Zhan Yang. I'm not sure if she is a character from the original legend or if she was just added to the script so that the movie can pass the Bechdel test. Either way, I'm happy. Her presence in this movie keeps this from being an entire sausage fest. Like, yes, can we have some yin energy to counteract all these yangs that are all over the place? Jason Scott Lee was absolutely amazing as the villain Boy Khan. Like, you know how the animated film drew the villain with like sharp teeth and yellow eyes and made him look literally like a monster? Jason Scott Lee seems to physically embody this in reality. He's like super scary looking. And speaking of villains and awesomeness, the standout moment in this movie happens during one of the battle scenes. The bad guys bait a battalion of mounted soldiers, including our girl Mulan, to follow them away from the action of battle. Our heroes are in hot pursuit when all of a sudden, one of the villain dudes jumps off his horse, does a flip, and lands backwards in the saddle of his galloping horse and starts shooting arrows at the people behind him. Oh my god, what? Can they do that? Couple more of them do it and just start picking off the soldiers one by one, except for our girl Mulan, who does her best Matrix impression, but on a horse. This whole scene was so much fun. I mean, y'all know, if you've watched my movie reviews before, you know I love a car chase, except with horses. This one sent me. I was screaming and throwing my popcorn. I don't care who knows. Now, one thing I was disappointed in was the Emperor. Don't come for me yet. I am a huge Jet Li fan. I love Jet Li, and I was so excited to hear that he was in this movie. But wait, this is not the Jet Li film I ordered. He does no fighting in the entire film. Like, I get that the character's dignified or royal or whatever, but how can you have Jet freaking Li in your movie and he doesn't have a fight scene where he's like flying across rooftops or breaking walls and furniture? He's just like wrapped up in 100 pounds of brocade fabric for the entire movie, motionless, like Elton John, but make it a burrito. Dislike. Also, just jot this down, make a note, this movie is almost bad at not ending as Lord of the Rings. The ending goes on forever. I swear to you, the ending of the movie lasted 3 hours of this movie's 2-hour runtime. You still have time to pee and get a snack after she saves China and still be back in time to see the final scene. To the surprise of probably no one, this movie provoked a bit of controversy upon its release. I don't want to digress into these issues because they are beyond the scope of this video, quite frankly, but I am going to leave links to a few news articles in the description below if you would like to inform yourself of those controversies. The Friesians. Let's talk about the Friesians. As equestrians, are we all just not completely over the use of Friesians in every movie ever? Yes, they look like fairy tale horses. Yes, they are always gorgeous. Yes, we love them. I mean, besides the fact that there were literally 0 Friesian horses in 5th century China, they're just so overused in film nowadays. I blame Lady Hawk for starting this, even though we stan Goliath. The way everybody online was complaining about the Friesians, I kind of thought like everybody in the film had a Friesian and the film was like all Friesians all the time. But only the bad guys had them. And you could tell they were bad guys because they were all black and their horses were all black and they all looked like they were in a 90s death metal band. I will admit, the bad guy stuff is the best horse stuff in the entire film. These dudes ride in formation, they stand in the saddle, they do their flippy, spinny, mounted archery stuff. And in general, just look awesome. I am here for this aesthetic. I know they're supposed to be evil, but I kind of want to join their horse gang. Mulan's horse in the live-action version is not as beefy as the animated horse Khan was, but they got the coloring down, from the white socks to the blaze to the shiny black coat. What we don't have in this movie are horse characters. Khan the horse was a fully fleshed out character in the animated film. He had motivations and desires, he could communicate with the other characters, he had a sentience that the live action Khan just does not. Now, I get why they made this choice. This new version, despite the witchcraft and the phoenix and the chi, besides all that, the movie generally does try to maintain an aura of realism. It's the heightened realism of an epic saga, but still. In this context, a self-aware horse that is able to like snort and nod and communicate with Mulan would stand out. It would make no sense. Our suspension of disbelief can only go so far, and we already spent it on a shape-shifting witch and a magic bird, so no sassy horses. Fine. The new movie horse does get to participate in the dramatic avalanche scene. But that scene, y'all, they got the horse like galloping through and across avalanche snow. Like, that's a thing that's possible. If you watch this movie, when you get to the horse galloping across the avalanche part, you're gonna make this face. Just know I am making this face with you in spirit. The rest of the movie's horses were really nothing more than set dressing. And if you've watched my reviews before, you know how I feel about that. I love it when movies treat horses like the living beings they are, with characters interacting with them and referencing them, with even the briefest nod to how they are cared for and where they are kept when they are off screen. Mulan's horse literally just shows up in some scenes and just disappears in others. No explanation. She rides him across China to find the soldier camp, but once she gets there, that cuts directly to a scene of her going through the gates on foot with the other soldiers. Where'd her horse go? Is there a stable? Is he tied up outside? Do other people have horses? I have questions. Her horse disappears from the movie entirely until a battle scene when suddenly she has him back. And we never even saw her training on horseback. What is going on? Movie makers, this is annoying to equestrians. Please stop ignoring the horses in your movies. Stop treating them like cars you can just park in a garage and forget about until you use them again. Despite my nitpicking about the use of horses in this movie, I really enjoyed the film. I loved Mulan. I loved all the actors. Star Trek shout out to Rosalind Chao. playing Mulan's mom. Hello? I loved how they made Mulan a real warrior. I loved the action, and I loved the story of a girl making it in a man's world. There is a Chinese version of this story. I mean, obviously it's a Chinese story, but it's a film made in 2009, and that is next on my list to watch. Thank you for watching my equestrian film review of Disney's live-action remake of Mulan. Have you seen the film yet? Let me know what you thought in the comments below. And check out some of my other film reviews. I will link a playlist right up here. Thank you and have a magical day.